Improving step by step. Mm, my goal is to encourage you to start improving your life step by step, day by day, and to try to seize what this life on our planet can offer you. Because unfortunately, we live most of our lives. Most of our lives are mostly governed by patterns we adopted from our upbringing. Most of us got the majority of our beliefs, our thought patterns from our parents and caregivers. Isn't it interesting, for example, how many children buy the same brands of cars as their parents, follow the same profession and things you do? Whatever you see, this is you mimic. This is how you learn. And how many times the children vote for the same political party, value the same possessions or material, or see success in the same way, whether is it in a form of job security, education, or amount of money. And how many times do we bear the same resentments and anger about political or religious leaders, whatever. And we think that's normal, that's the way it should be or whatever, but in theory nothing is wrong with that. Mm, Taking on all of these patterns helped us survive when we were completely reliant on our parents or caregivers. If they wouldn't hold us or nurture us, we would die. If they didn't love us, we would die. If they wouldn't feed us, we would die. It makes complete sense that nature built us this way. It built us for survival. Evolution developed our bodies, our minds, and our emotions so that our chance for survival is the highest. But yeah, for survival, not for thriving. So if we started rejecting what our caregivers think and believe, our own well-being would be threatened, because they wouldn't care for us anymore. And nature doesn't want that. It wants us to grow up and reproduce. That's evolution. That's in our genes. So it made us acceptable in eyes of our caregivers, so that they would take care of us. We can therefore understand that we don't make only simple decisions like what car to buy or which party to vote for from our childhood programming, but also deeper beliefs about what is right and what is wrong, how to behave in certain situations, how to make choices, what is important, what is not important, and so on. And as much as I hate to say it, but we become a copy of the main characters in our time growing up, with all of their positive and negative traits. And unfortunately, we didn't choose what to believe and what to think. It was given to us. We accepted it as what it is and as the truth, but it's not necessarily so. Um, it is it is now so deep in our unconsciousness, the being that we don't even know that it's there, that all of this is there, that all the beliefs um, and patterns are there. And you can read in an amazing book called The Four Agreements that we have domesticated ourselves. That means that when we were children, our parents taught us right from wrong in their own flawed way. And we now unconsciously have all of these beliefs stored deeply in us, and these beliefs are still running our lives. We don't need our parents anymore. We just do it by ourselves in the same way that we were taught how to. And we never consciously chose any of this. Yet they govern our everyday. And we are so imprinted by them, and we guide ourselves in their steps on our own. We adopted the same patterns of thinking and being. And this is the general overview. And yes, some were luckier than others in how they were brought up, what kind of patterns and behavior and beliefs they took on. But there is a part that is not completely free in all of us. It's virtually it's impossible to escape this conditioning, because our parents are human beings, and they were making mistakes. My parents, your parents, everybody's parents. And but what is most important, and where the luck lies here, is that everything can be changed and everything can be healed, and you can get rid of this autopilot that is guiding you in your life right now and take over the wheel and stop sleeping behind the wheel. And you can start living a different life, a better life. You can start going after your goal. You can also reach your goals, and do the changes that you want to do. But it takes some work, and you have to do one thing. You have to become more conscious of yourself and start doing small incremental changes in your life, day by day, every day. Becoming conscious. If there is something you would like to achieve in your life that you haven't yet achieved, if there is something you would like to experience that you haven't yet experienced, the only way to get there is to become a conscious human being that is able to make choices without at least part of the baggage that you brought with you from childhood. Because you have to become a different person to get the things that you don't now have, or achieve things that you haven't yet achieved. So, as Thomas Jefferson said, if you want something you never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done before. You've never done. And to do something you've never done, you have to be able to make choices, different choices that you took before, that got you to where you are today. Something, something in you, in us, has to change, because otherwise you will get the same thing you were always getting. As the saying goes, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. The only way you can do something different is to be able to make a different, better decision. Your current decision making process brought you to where you are now. It's not possible for this same machine to bring you to a better, higher state. Um, and becoming conscious is our goal if we want to improve our lives, create the life we want to live. But how do we become conscious? The first skill we have to master is awareness. We have to be able to notice what is happening to us and return to the present moment. So many times in the day we just get lost in thought, lost in worry, in fear, and we let life go by while we indulge in worst case scenarios in our heads. Um, like I think, like, I will not be able to pronounce his name, but Michel de Montaigne said, "My life has been filled with terrible misfortune, most of which never happened." So we are catastrophizing, we are searching for worst case scenarios in our head, and we are living that before it even happened, or most likely 95% or even 99%, this worst case scenarios never happened. And this saying sums up our lives beautifully, because we make it difficult to live life to the fullest, uh, in and we spend it in mostly unconscious fears and worries about things that might happen sometimes in the future, but in huge majority of cases never do. And when this happens, when your thoughts start racing, or when you feel this surge of anger when someone cuts you off on the road, or you drop something on the floor, these are the moments when your primitive emotions take over and run the show without you knowing. And these are actually the moments where we need to be able to regain consciousness and take the steering wheel of our life. Viktor Frankl, an Austrian neurologist, psychologist, and Holocaust survivor, said in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, between stimulus and response, there is space. In this space is our freedom to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So you drop eggs on the floor and they break all over the kitchen floor. And that millisecond before you start cursing, before you unleash all that anger and everything else, there is space where you can consciously make a choice. What is best for you in that moment? Is it becoming furious, shouting, being in a bad mood for the rest of the day? I'm catastrophe catastrophe discovering the worst case scenario. But or is there a better alternative for how you want to react? Would it be better to stop yourself from being completely taken over by anger, forgive yourself for dropping the eggs on the floor, clean it up, and continue cheerfully through the day? And but how do we develop this skill of catching ourselves with our minds when our minds do their thing and we get up, caught up and lost in thought? First, I want to emphasize that this is a skill. It means um, you can consider yourself um, hot-headed or whatever, but this is a skill you can learn to catch yourself. So you were not born with lashing out on people or losing your temper while driving. You maybe didn't choose this. It came as a result of your socialization, as the result of influences in your life. Um, but what but what matters is that you can change, because this is a skill, and as any other skill, it can be cultivated and taught, and you can learn how to catch yourself um, when you lose yourself all on your own actually. So the 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 keyword we are searching for, and it is very well known, is mindfulness. um, and this, for me, this means being present and not letting our programming lead the way. And the only way I know how to cultivate mindfulness, and I know it works because I've been doing it and using it for um, more than 4 or 5 years, is meditation. I don't know how many meditation techniques and styles there are, um, but you don't have to overcomplicate. At least I don't. I haven't yet done so. I believe every form works, and for me, like, step number one is just sitting down and following the breath without losing focus. And just when the mind wanders off, just imagine it as a child that gets lost. It goes somewhere, and then you want to bring it back without being angry, and without anything. You just come back and start following your breath again. So when I started meditating, I helped myself with two meditation apps, Calm and Headspace. I chose to continue with the Calm subscription and used it for years. And I definitely recommend it. They're both good. At least they probably still are. Also Headspace. But just start with beginner lessons in those two apps, and you're off to an amazing start. Currently, I'm not using any of those anymore. I just put a timer in an app called Insight Timer, but Calm is still an amazing app. Um, and yeah, in time, you will develop a high enough level of awareness that you will be able to choose your response in most of your daily situations. Yes, you'll still succumb to your monkey mind, and once in a while, and you will react emotionally, and you'll still do things you will regret. But there will be fewer and fewer of these kinds of situations, because you will have the time and the space to make the decision you actually want. Like Viktor Frankl said, that moment between stimuli and response, that's where our freedom lies. This is where we make a choice. And maybe you will not snap back at your coworker when they ask you the same question 3 times. You will not brush off your child or your elderly parent, or um, when they want your attention, or when you're in the midst of chaos at work, when things go wrong. And yeah, this is all possible, and it will help you lead a better, happier life. A long time ago, I actually took pride in my quick anger. I thought that made me stronger, and that people will not fuck with me because I get angry quickly. But now I see this, that I was only showing my weakness. I was the little person that couldn't handle my emotions, and I let outside circumstances guide me and influence me. And Albert Camus said, "In the midst of winter, I found there is within me an invincible summer." And yeah, with awareness and the possibility to choose your response, you become invincible. Nothing can touch you, because you are whole and complete inside, and you don't outside circumstances are not defining anything about your experience anymore. And people can touch you, and you don't get angry or defensive, even in the areas where you felt the most vulnerable. For example, you could be very sensitive to the question of having children and marriage, because you're in mid 30s, and all your friends are married with children. And when the discussion around you is about family and children, you tense up, you become irritated, you know what's going to follow, and you cannot enjoy the company and the setting anymore, because your mind starts to take its own course. It makes up stories to protect you. But All this does is distance you from your parents, from your friends, from your love of this world, and from the enjoyment of the moment. And to be able to handle all the situation that life throws at you, the first thing, the first step, yeah, is being aware of what actually is happening to you at all times, what is going on. And meditation is definitely the way to go. And I would suggest start meditating today. Push it through the beginning because, as we all know, beginnings are hard. It's really hard. It's also very hard to stick to meditation. It's hard to build a habit. But if you do, I can guarantee your life will never be the same again. It really is one of those life-changing habits, and I still remember the feeling of peace I felt after my first meditation, and I couldn't believe the calmness and clarity when I opened my eyes after finishing it. It was just a 10-minute session, but it felt amazing, and yeah, completely different feelings that I knew from before. um, my mind was always too active, working overtime, and it became so severe that I couldn't sleep. And meditation was one of my first weapons to fight insomnia, and it worked. It worked well. It couldn't help me when I was waking up in the middle of the night in sweat, but at least it helped me fell asleep when I wanted to go to sleep, because I used it to calm myself down, to really prepare for to calm my mind, so that it was able to let me go to sleep. And after a while, we'll probably try different kinds of meditation, and not just following your breath, but also maybe sounds, body sensations, emotions, loving kindness meditation, walking meditation, and all this time and all that stuff. And these are all amazing tools in your arsenal of awareness and becoming aware. um, what made a huge change for me was also a book called Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. And after reading her book and her explanation of the different feelings she described when she went on stage, imagine the first possibility of going on stage in fear, questioning what you have of value to share, and you're questioning yourself. But or on the other option, you go on stage in full faith that everything will be okay, that you trust yourself, and you just let go, and you believe that people who came to listen will sense you and your energy. And just think how it would be to go through all of life situations with this kind of faith. And even when you get caught up in fearful thoughts, you use the power you gain through meditation to quickly gain the faith to explore and to continue with your life and your projects and projects. And it's completely different when you use this power of awareness and consciousness to move yourself back to the state where you call up this power, the choice that you have about your life. It's a completely different life. And um, and this for me was the second level of meditation, where you're just sitting down in the faith of the universe, when you keep your focus on the energy around you. You don't notice just your breath anymore. You notice the empty space, the blackness around you, and you bathe in this peace and clarity and gratitude for life. This is when you start smiling for no apparent reason, just just for being alive and experience the beauty and the joy of life without anything in the external world changing, anything in your life actually changing, and you feel that that's all you need to be happy. You just have to be you, and you just have to be, and that's it. You don't need more, you don't need new things, you don't need anything else. You can just be and smile and be happy, and it is amazing. If you mm, for example, for me, where I came from and how I felt to coming to this feeling, or whatever we want to call it, this position where I can just be and be happy and smile for nothing changed, and just feel gratitude for life, and that's it's just amazing, and it makes you really see how things can be, and that nothing is so just doom and gloom. You have to do all of this and then you will be happy, or whatever. It doesn't it's really not so. So besides Gabrielle and Bernstein, I also got a lot of good lessons from doing meditations of Joe Dispenza. He has some amazing meditations, also walking meditation. I think it's called, like, one on YouTube, Unlocking the Code, in which you can literally feel how you are a different person when you finish it. And it's 1 hour, and yeah, you are different. You feel different. Everything is different. Of course, it's a process. You have to do it many times so that actually you can see changes in your life happening. But I encourage you to explore different teachers and find out what calls for you. What you feel the drive to explore. I also read books and listened to meditations from Tara Brach and Sharon Salzberg, and also others I found in another great meditation app, the Insight Timer, which I mentioned. For example, I listened to Lisa Abramson, like melting stress and anxiety away, like her meditation every night before I went to sleep for months, because this was when I was dealing with my insomnia. Sometimes I even got out of bed and did this meditation if I couldn't sleep, and it's simply amazing, and it you do this exercise when you breathe out stress and you breathe in calm and peaceful feelings, and it helped me a lot. So yeah, explore, keep an open mind, and enjoy. The choice. So after you become aware of a trigger, after you catch yourself reacting on autopilot, you can make the next step in bringing your true self to the surface. So you allow yourself to feel what is happening inside you, but not react automatically to it. So you can choose what to do in that moment. And why would you choose anything that doesn't serve you? um, why would you choose, a minute of feeling angry, resentful, feeling hate, when you can rather just be present and grateful for the gifts of your existence? And but this is all impossible to do if you're stuck in unconsciousness. um, but if you become present, if you become conscious, everything is possible, and you have the opportunity to choose. You can take responsibility for all aspects of your life, and you can create a world where you love living in, because yeah, you're in charge. You have the power. You are the master. You decide. And enjoy your freedom. Your life will improve without a doubt. Remain aware and make choices that serve you. Sometimes it's hard to make this transition, but it's definitely worth it. Good luck.